Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining today's 30-minute presentation of the Certified Partner Program, or CPP as we refer to it internally, for the MyCaribou platform. My name is Craig McInnes. I'm the co-CEO of MyCaribou, and I'm excited to show you the platform today and to discuss the Certified Partner Program. We are recording this session. We'll send you a copy of the recording as well as a copy of the deck and some additional slides, and of course the information regarding signing up for the program as well. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with MyCaribou, it's a fully integrated global platform where medtech companies can connect, create and manage partnerships, sell and distribute products and services. And we'll be showing the platform today, just in a few minutes actually. It's also a place though where regulatory and market consultants as well as trade associations and organizations can be discovered by and connect with 40,000 manufacturers and distributors. So the platform today has over 41,000 profiles of companies or organizations. You can see the breakdown there on the screen, roughly 20,000 manufacturers, distributors, and over 1,000 regulatory market consultants and trade organizations. When I refer to a profile, you'll see this in the platform. We're talking about the overview of the organization or company, their URL, a LinkedIn page if they have it, what type of business they are, how long they've been in business, and other data points. For manufacturers and distributors, that would include things like what product categories do they manufacture or distribute, what are their call points, any certifications they might have, and so on. So we really believe we're unlocking the global medtech ecosystem. We use medtech really to describe the component of life sciences that focuses on equipment, supplies, and disposables globally. So everything from MRI machines and major capital equipment all the way down to disposables, PPE, and of course, everything in between. And that really consists of about 105,000 companies around the globe in terms of manufacturers and distributors in over 150 countries. Our platform currently has 20,661 manufacturers, 19,292 distributors, and over 1,000 regulatory market consultants and trade organizations. The concept we're going to present today is really for this audience, which is an opportunity to partner with the MyCaribou platform to help your clients, the people you work with, and as well for yourself to expose your organization to these manufacturers and distributors. So I'm going to start off today with a demo. This whole presentation is only 30 minutes. It might be a little bit less depending on how many questions we have. On that note, if you have questions, please use the Q&A panel. So you should find that in your Zoom toolbar. There is a Q&A panel. You can enter questions in there. You could also put them in the chat if you prefer. It's really up to you, but we'll look at both and make sure we answer questions as we get to the end of the presentation. So I'm going to switch gears. I'm going to do a demo first, show you the platform. Some people on this call have probably seen it, but for many, this will be their first time seeing it. So I'm going to show you the platform, and then we'll talk a little bit about the partner program and how you can become a part of that and really take advantage of what we're offering. So let's switch over to a browser here. This is what MyCaribou looks like. As I mentioned, it is a global platform. There are over 41,000 profiles of companies all over the globe, from manufacturers to distributors and trade organizations. The basic components of the system include dashboards for rolling up performance by market, by product, by category. That would be predominantly, obviously, for manufacturers and distributors. Market discovery, where you can learn about markets before entering those markets. So if you think about a manufacturer in this space trying to go to market, market discovery would be important. Partnering is a place to find partners, connect with those partners, but it's also a place where you can post opportunities, and I'll talk about that momentarily here. And then collaboration is a place where partners can collaborate together in secure workspaces. Now, what I mean by that is you could have a manufacturer and a distributor working together in a secure platform. But if you're a regulatory consultant or a consultant, a market consultant, as we refer to people that help companies go to market globally, you could also collaborate in those spaces with your partners, whether they're manufacturers or distributors. And again, I'll show you that momentarily. So let's start first just very quickly with market discovery. I'm logged in as a fictitious cardiovascular manufacturer out of Sweden. And so I am active in Sweden, and all these green markets are markets that I'm active in. As I look to expand, I've I have targeted markets. You'll see, for example, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, South Africa, and so on. These are all target markets in purple. Regardless of which market you click on, whether it's an active target or even a market that I haven't identified as active or target, we do have over 800 data points on 105 countries around the world. So as you click on this, you'll actually see market data. I'll just show you very quickly, because this is really something the manufacturers in particular take advantage of, is to learn a little bit more about the markets. Now, this isn't, tens of thousands of data points on a single market. It really provides almost 1,000 data points on each market, focused on helping them understand how the market works. So for example, in this case, I've used Canada. We have an overview of how healthcare functions in that market. Very different, let's say, than the US or Brazil or India or other markets around the world. We talk about how medical devices and equipment are purchased, how long-term care works, how alternative care works. We look at things like purchasing groups with direct links into those. And again, those vary by country. And then we get into data points such as healthcare expenditure and financing. So that's by your public-private mix, as well as spending by type, assets and employment. So hospitals, hospital beds, beds by clinical area. You'll notice that every data point is cited and sourced. So this particular data point is a 2020 data point for the number of ICU beds in this particular market. As we get into things like clinical specialists, physicians, even veterinary, ambulatory care facilities. For example, I'm a cardiovascular manufacturer, so I can see that there are 1,453 cardiologists in this market. And if I go down to the surgical specialists, I can also see that there are 365 cardiac surgeons in that market as well. And if I continue that theme into utilization, you'll see, for example, I might be interested in, how many coronary angioplasties are there on an annual basis? And there you have 73,000 in this particular market. But I could also look at other types of surgeries and diagnostic exams to learn more about those as well. And then finally, as I get into trends and indicators, this looks at medical conditions and disease states focused on, and again, if I use my cardiovascular example, I would be interested in cardiovascular disease rates, rates of structural heart disease. And then I've got some useful links as well into organizations that might be helpful here. The last piece to show you very quickly is a high-level regulatory overview. So again, for those of you that are in regulatory consultancies, this is not competitive to that. It is a high-level overview. And in fact, I would see it as an entry point into then working with a regulatory consultant to go into that market. So for example, in this case, we have a country-specific medical device regulatory authority, as well as a link into that authority. We describe the license types, and then we speak to multinational regimes. In this case, it's part of the MDSAP program. And again, we have links into this from here, so it takes you into the basic regulatory overview in that particular market. And we do that in all markets around the world. As you'll understand as regulatory consultants, that's just a high-level picture to explain that it's a complicated market. There's a lot going on here, a lot has to take place, and they're going to need a consultant to help them go to that market. And I'll explain how they would find you in here then to do that work as well. So again, on the market view aspect, that's a high-level overview. And again, we do that in markets all around the world. So if I click on, let's say, Argentina as an example, the 45th largest med device market in the world, I could drill in and see that same type of data on the Argentinian market. And I could do that all around the world. So that's the first piece. The second thing I want to talk about is partnering. So finding partners is a way for manufacturers to find you, for manufacturers to find distributors, for distributors to find manufacturers, distributors to find you. So there's all kinds of different examples. I'll show you a couple very quickly here. Let's say I'm a manufacturer. Again, I'll use cardiovascular, and I'm looking for distributors. And specifically, I want distributors that are headquartered in Brazil. Okay, and I'm going to assume we want, from a product category perspective, cardiovascular distributors. Now, in the top right, you'll see about 44,000 companies. As I apply those three filters, I'm now looking at cardiovascular distributors in Brazil that are actually headquartered in Brazil in this particular case. So in that case, there are 93 companies. I could then start to look at these. I could view the profile. So this is an overview of that particular distributor. Here's a description, which categories they distribute, what their call points are. So this particular company does distribute cardiovascular products. They do have relationships into hospitals, nursing and residential care facilities, ambulatory care facilities as well. I could also view their more detailed company profile. I could click on their LinkedIn page. I could go to their website. And I'll just open that very quickly to show you that's a link then into a Brazilian distributor and their website. At this point, if you're interested in connecting with this particular manufacturer, their profile would dictate what you have to answer to. So they may say, I need you to answer 3 questions before we connect. This particular example is just one simple question. I would introduce myself, hit the send button, and it would send a connection request to that manufacturer on behalf of, sorry, in this case, the distributor on behalf of myself. Okay, so that was one example of a manufacturer finding distributors. Let's say you're a distributor and you're actually looking for manufacturers. So I'm gonna clear out the where they're headquartered. I'll stick with cardiovascular manufacturers, and let's see how many of those there are in the platform, 1,376. And now I might say something like, you know what I really need is a manufacturer that provides catheters. And so I'm gonna search through their descriptions and find companies that are specifically focused on catheters. And I'm just gonna sort that by where they're based. So you can see this is a very global platform. So you're seeing manufacturers of catheters, 107 of them roughly, from countries all over the globe. And by the way, you know, as they're looking for suppliers around the globe, they may say something like, I want companies that are specifically out of China, or I want companies, pardon me, that aren't from China, or any combination of those things. And so they could filter this list much more precisely. And then same idea, they can look at each company, go to the company profile, they go to their website, and ultimately, if they're interested in connecting with them, they could connect with them. So that's 2 scenarios for partnering. One was a manufacturer looking for distributors. The other was a distributor looking for manufacturers. Now, where do market consultants, regulatory consultants, and associations and trade organizations come into play? So let's just clear this out in terms of product categories and descriptions. And instead of looking for manufacturers, I'm going to look for market consultants, or perhaps I'll do regulatory and certification consultants, or maybe I'm interested in trade organizations. Okay, so let's just start with regulatory, and we'll apply that to the platform, to the search, I should say. And we're going to see regulatory consultants from all over the globe. Now, in a few minutes, I'm going to talk about the Certified Partner Program. If you become a certified partner, you would be badged and you would show up as a certified partner in the search. And I'll talk about other benefits in a few minutes as well as it relates to that, but that's how searching works. So again, I'll use just another example. Let's say you were looking for market consultants, people to help you go to market, not from a regulatory perspective, but from a business development perspective. Again, we're going to see, in this case, 332 companies that help other companies go to market around the globe. And then lastly, I'll show you associations and trade organizations. This is a shorter list. We've only recently started adding these, and we've got about 111 trade associations. You'll see here from Argentina all the way down to lots in Germany, UK, United States. And you'll see a variety of different trade organizations in here that either represent manufacturers, distributors, or perhaps they're more related to the market itself and driving companies into, let's say, Israel or into Germany, or helping German companies go global. That's the type of organizations that you would see here. So finding partners, we can also do something called short list from here. And I will also mention there is a concept called opportunities. And what an opportunity is you could post an opportunity in the platform to try to gain exposure to your company, your organization, and draw in potential partners. So an example of this, I'll show you one here, is a hospital bed and a bed accessory manufacturer needed. So this was a US-based manufacturer, and what they were looking for is specific partners for distribution in a particular market. And so they posted an opportunity for that. Now, this was a company here, a distributor that was looking for manufacturers of patient temperature management solutions. Here's an example of an opportunity where a distributor is actually looking for shipping coordination with other Brazilian distributors. It's very expensive to ship cargo right now. And so this company is looking for partners in Brazil that want to share shipping containers to ship people around the world. Another example, though, would be, as let's say a regulatory consultant is, we've recently launched regulatory consulting in Argentina, and we're looking for manufacturers who want to go to Argentina, or it could be much broader than that. That's what an opportunity post is. And what I'll mention in a few minutes here is, we actually promote those opportunities to our database, but also through things like LinkedIn groups, as well as other promotional capabilities behind opportunities. So we can talk about that more when we talk about the partnering program, which I'll get to here momentarily. The last thing I want to talk about is collaboration in the platform. So if you think about what I've described here so far, we get the ability to navigate markets around the world. We can find partners in any number of combinations, which I showed a few examples. We can post opportunities into the network and draw in manufacturers or distributors or regulatory consultants. A good example might be a manufacturer saying, "Hey, I'm looking for a regulatory consultant to help me go live in Brazil," and regulatory consultants could respond to that posting as well. Now, the last leg, and one of the most important legs of this platform, is actually the ability to collaborate securely in the platform. So now remember, I'm a manufacturer in this demo environment, and I manufacture cardiovascular products out of Sweden. I have partners in Italy. So here is me, Global Cardio, and my distributor in Italy. I've got a distributor in the UK. I've got a distributor in Spain, and so on. Each of these collaborative workspaces is highly secure. So only whoever is invited in gets to work in this workspace. And I'll show you what I mean by that. In this particular case, Global Cardio, my company, I've invited some of our internal people to collaborate in this workspace. And from XYZ distributor down here, we just have one person who we've invited, and that's just simply done by hitting the invite button and putting in their email address, and that will invite them to come join you in this workspace. So if you think about, in this case, let's say you had a manufacturer working with a regulatory consultant, you could actually do some of the work. You could actually manage files, communication, and so on, which I'll show you momentarily, right in these secure workspaces. So the workspaces themselves, this particular one is a workspace between a manufacturer based out of Sweden and a distributor in the United Kingdom. And so here we actually have business plans, we have scorecarding, KPIs, key performance indicators, sales forecasts. I won't get into all this in too much detail, just want to give you a quick sense of it. Here we have a sales forecast between a manufacturer and a distributor with targets and actuals for the quarter, and some discussion between those partners over here. We could also attach files in there, things like pipeline reports, that kind of stuff, right into our forecast. We can also, from there, do KPIs, as I mentioned. We can share files over here. We can have discussion boards, and we can manage projects. So here is an example of a cardiac catheter product launch, and we manage that as a project in here between the two partners, or three partners, or four partners. And these are all, drag and drop, really capable, nice light project management tool built right into these workspaces. So again, let's take this, instead of a manufacturer distributor, you might be working with a manufacturer as a consultant. Maybe you're actually working with distributors at the same time as well. You can invite multiple partners into this, working together, let's say to go live in a particular market. And you can take advantage of the discussion boards, the files, the project plans, right in here with that partner. And the great thing about that is, when you think about finding partners, so let's say somebody responded to a post that you put in here, an opportunity post. The manufacturer wants to work with you to go live in Brazil, as an example. As soon as you start working with that partner, you can then actually create a workspace together with a very, very simple process, where you just either do it through here, create a workspace, and you would invite the partner in. And within minutes, you could have one of those collaborative workspaces, like you're seeing right here. So you can imagine managing your engagements with clients through these secure workspaces. Whether you're working with a single client in a single market or a client in multiple markets, you can have these workspaces to do that as part of your access to the platform. The last thing I'll mention just very quickly is if you create a workspace, and let's say you invite your manufacturer partner into that workspace, they don't have to pay to use the platform as long as what they're doing is collaborating with you in that workspace. So each of these partners you bring in, they can collaborate with you in these workspaces without having to pay fees for that. The last thing I'll show you just very quickly, and then I'm going to sum up the program today, is the dashboarding. So as you think again about manufacturers and distributors working together globally, some of you work with both of those partners to help them succeed in markets around the world. This is where they can start to see performance. So I can see performance by market. So as a manufacturer, I'm seeing which markets I'm performing best and worst in relative to my targets. I'm seeing my global sales forecasts. I'm seeing how each of my partners is performing. Again, whether I'm a distributor or a manufacturer, I can see how that partnership is performing relative to plan, and I can see how my various products are performing, product categories. So dashboards are important as well. I wanted to highlight those very quickly. All right, so let me just pause there for a second. Let's go back over to the deck, and I will move into the benefits of the program. So hopefully you saw the robustness of the platform. We are bringing in companies every day from all over the planet into the platform. As I mentioned, there are over 40,000 profiles in there today. So if you were to sign up today as a market consultant, as a regulatory consultant, as a trade organization, trade association, the standard benefits when you join MyCaribou are, first of all, you have a detailed company profile for added visibility. So you update your profile, you own that profile, and you become visible in the platform. You would gain access to the workspace that I just showed. You'd have the ability to do company searching, shortlisting, connection requests. You'd have the ability to search and post opportunities in the platform. You have the collaboration tools that I showed you for file sharing, discussion boards, forecasting, objective setting, and project management. You would also then obviously the ability to promote your business to over 40,000 medtech companies globally. And you'd have the ability to give your manufacturer and distributor clients additional perks, so we offer complimentary one-on-one orientation sessions for them. So as you bring them into the platform, our team will actually orient them to the platform, typically a 30-minute session they go through. And then we also offer promotional opportunities and discounts, which we'll talk about as well. Now, becoming a certified partner program. So what I talked about here is really anyone who signs up for our platform gets this free for 30 days, after which they start to either start to subscribe to the platform, paying subscriber, or they can just have their listing, which is always free, and respond to connection requests. That's always free. The certified partner program is for companies and organizations like yours, market consultants, regulatory consultants, trade organizations, and associations. And the benefits to becoming a certified partner, first of all, it's a limited number per market that we will be working with around the globe. You'll get your MyCaribou license would in fact be free if you become a certified partner program. You would have a visual badge to indicate your certified status on the platform. You'd be featured in MyCaribou Connections, which are podcasts, as well as webinars, newsletters, blog posts, and more. We do a lot of those. We've had a very, very good success so far on webinars and podcasts and participation there. We also have other upcoming networking and promotional opportunities that we would typically deal with one-on-one with each partner. So those are the key benefits to the partner program. Now, obviously, this needs to be a win-win for us and for you. What we need back from you in terms of being part of this partner program is, first of all, to invite your network into MyCaribou. When I say invite into MyCaribou, that's not to necessarily work with you. That doesn't mean they're paying subscribers. Invite them into the network. Sign up, update their profile in MyCaribou. That's always free. That's what we mean by inviting your network into MyCaribou. The second thing is we do want to see our partners start to collaborate and manage their partnerships or their through our workspaces, as I showed you there in the demo a few minutes ago. Okay, we would look to do co-marketing participation with you. So we would include things like promoting MyCaribou on social media monthly, co-authoring and promoting blog articles with us, participating in webinars or podcasts, visual badges on your website. So that's would be your co-promotion. And of course, in turn, we are doing the same thing. A short testimonial would also be part of what we would as an ask from you as partners, and we're happy to do that in the other direction as well. So really, to be clear here again, the program itself, great benefits. We'll do tremendous promotion of you in the platform, and in return, we would expect our partners to promote us as we've laid out here today. I'm going to open up for questions here in a second. We're just about 3 or 4 minutes left, which I'll answer some questions. And but just before we do that, the key next step for all of you is, if you're interested in this program, this is the landing page that's in the link that I just showed you a minute ago on the slides. We'll give you a copy of that as well. You just simply have to book an intro meeting. So we'll do a one-on-one 30-minute session. I'll learn a bit about your organization. We'll learn a bit about your organization. We can answer any questions that you have as well. We could talk about how we're going to partner together. That's just a quick 30-minute session, and then we sign you up, get you into the platform. You got 30-day free access to then start exploring in the platform. I will very quickly introduce, just as we're queuing up some questions here, I'll introduce Angela. I think she's coming on the video. So Angela and I work closely together. She is Director of Marketing for MyCaribou and will be actively involved. So nice to introduce you, Angela, to all the participants today. So on that note, I'm going to pause sharing. You will get a link to this sign up. You will get a copy of the deck, as well as a recording of the video if you want to watch it again later. I'm just going to pause sharing for a moment, and let's have a look at any questions that have come in. Okay, some great questions. I'm going to be pretty brief. You're down to 2 minutes. I want to be respectful, so I will answer what I can. And then any additional questions that I don't get to, we will send in the follow-up email afterwards. So there's a couple questions around how we created these 42,000 profiles in the database. So we spent over 18 months with a team of people, and we scrubbed all those profiles from publicly available information all around the globe. So sources could include the FDA's website. It could be, trade shows and events around the world. And then we look at the company, we look at their webpage, we look at their LinkedIn page, we create a profile of them that included a lot of really relevant data points. We also did that for regulatory, for market, for trade associations and organizations. We did that, as I said, over a long period of time with a lot of expense and a lot of resources dedicated to it. I would say, I know there's some questions here about the accuracy of the profile. I would say it's probably 85% accurate. If you look at your profile the first time you come into MyCaribou, most people would agree with that. You're going to fine tune a few things in that profile. For example, I find people's LinkedIn overviews are often a little bit more relevant or more recent than some of the web page profiles of the companies. So we tend to lean towards their LinkedIn overview when we look at sort of profiling the company. But you're going to get in there, you're going to be able to update your profile and make it exactly what you want. As soon as you claim it, it becomes yours. We no longer have access to even update that profile. So think of it as we gave you a sort of 85%, you take the final 15%. I'm just going to answer maybe one more here because we are running out of time. Okay, how do you decide which partners to certify in specific markets? So I tried to explain this a little bit when I brought the slide up, but I'm not sure I did a fantastic job of that. We're looking for partners that want to have a win-win situation. We'll give you access to the platform. We will give you exposure and promotional opportunities to companies all over the globe. In return, we're looking for a partner that loves what we're doing, thinks we're helping to transform the medtech space, and wants to be a promotional partner. We want to see them working in the platform, which would be free for certified partners. We want to see you promoting our platform in social. We want to see you promoting our platform by inviting your partners in there, inviting your customers in there. That's the win-win I'm describing. And we've already got several that this is a brand new program, but several that we're working with and seeing some great win-wins right out of the gate. Okay, on that note, I know it's we're at the 30-minute mark. I'm going to pause it there. I want to thank everyone for attending today. And we would love you to then, next step is to book that 30-minute session, and we'll have a conversation about your business, our business, answer any questions you have, and get you into the platform to have a look for yourselves. So thank you very much. Have a fantastic day, and we'll follow up very shortly. Thanks, everyone.